Hi, so today what I want to do is show you what your hive is going to look like after you've put your packages in. So this package was placed on about April 15th. It's about a month later. It's actually May 16th today. It's about 62 degrees out, so a nice, fairly nice day to be dealing with your bees. We've been feeding this hive sugar water, a 1-to-1 sugar water mix, for about a month since we put the package in. And today I think it's just about time to look and see how full this hive is and maybe add a second hive body. If we have to add a second hive body, I've got it already there. This is actually a hive body that we rescued from a couple dead hives last year. A couple hives died early in the fall, left a lot of honey in the hive. So we've combined all those frames of honey. That second hive body is actually completely full of honey. So we'll put that on top of this hive if the hive is ready for a second hive body. And we should be able to go almost immediately then, if we get a good nectar flow in the next few weeks, we should be able to go almost immediately to some supers on this hive. And if you don't happen to have a hive body that you can use that's full of honey, what you're gonna do is you're simply gonna take your feeder out of this hive, put in an empty frame, put a second hive body on top, of course that's all empty frames, and put your feeder back into the position on that second hive body. You're going to keep feeding your bees until that second hive body is completely drawn with comb, or they stop taking the sugar water mix, which they very well may, because they will prefer nectar, flower nectar, rather than the artificial stuff that we make. So if that happens, just keep an eye on them. If they stop taking the sugar water, get it out of there, because that sugar water can tend to ferment. Okay, so now we should be ready to take a look at these. Now, you notice too, I don't have a smoker today. I tend not to like to use a smoker if at all possible. If the bees get really grumpy, then what I'll do is I'll go get my smoker and we'll have to smoke them. But I'm hoping that today that's not going to be the case. This looks pretty good. Now what's going to happen is if the bees are really grumpy, you're going to see them start sticking their butts up in the air. These don't look too bad right now, so this looks pretty good. This is an extremely full hive the way it looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull this feeder out of there. Give me a lot of extra room to play with. And this is pretty typical. A couple frames will typically not have anything on them. They'll not be drawn at all. And we want typically about 7 frames. If we got 7 frames of bees and drawn comb, then it's time to put another hive body on there. So here we go. Take a look at this first one. That's what a good brood frame looks like. It's extremely good. I do not take the time to look for the queen. I want to do this as quickly and as efficiently as possible so that I don't disrupt the hive any more than I have to. So I'm just going to take a quick look at these to see what I have. Another pretty good brood. And if you want, you can look in here, and you probably won't be able to see it, but I see lots of eggs in here. So the queen is still laying in there, but you may or may not be able to see that. Another good brood pattern. Lots and lots of eggs in here. That's what I really like about these black frames, is on a black frame like this, you can really see eggs down in there. That one's built up quite well. And you can see there I trashed one as I pulled it out, which is also why I like to avoid as much as possible pulling out frames. So this looks pretty good. I know I'm gonna be able to put a whole new hive body on here, and that's enough. I don't need to look anymore. I see that there's plenty of bees in there. The queen seems to be working quite well. These bees are relatively mild. So I'm going to take my empty frames and try and put them over here in the middle. I'm going to leave that frame as kind of full. I've got another frame here that's been partially drawn. We've had to clean it up a bit, but they'll clean that up the rest of the way. I'll drop this in there. Now I also like to move everything over all one way. This just keeps everything nice and neat and clean. We'll lay this down a little bit. Now this hive body is extremely heavy because it is full of honey. I'm going to try and not crush too many bees if at all possible, but you're always going to crush some. You hear them crunch in there? Not much you can do about that. Cover back on. Don't forget to slide your cover forward so you have your upper entrance open for them. Put the rock back on to keep the cover from blowing off. That's all there is to it. I'll leave this out here. It's got a little bit of sugar water in it. They can clean that up as they wish, or if it starts to ferment, I can pour it out. That thing you just saw me swat at was a yellow jacket. Tried to catch it, but I missed it. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us.